Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking Dairy Free and Out for Golf with Nancy. And yes, that's right, you see snowman earrings on. Santa Claus, not snowman, Santa Claus. As a lot of people don't know, this is my favorite time of year, Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holidays. So, and since we don't wear them, but there's so much that time of year, I just started to wear them. Hi, Rebecca. So, hi, TV watchers. Thank you for being here. Chat and hi, replay watchers. So tonight I want to sit down and talk a little bit about I've been talking about the Daniel fast and what it's about. So they took a bit off when Daniel fasted for 21 days because he was waiting for an answer from the Lord. And it took 21 days because the angels were fighting through the principalities of the air and everything. And that's when he got to Daniel and said, it took me this long because we're in a fight to try to get to you. So that's where the Daniel fast comes from. And fasting can be from something that you like to do all the time. It's watching TV. It can be certain types of food. It can be now social media. It could be something that like coffee or other drinks. And so what I did it the first time I did it, and all this was on my hands, and my hands were so bad. And so the Lord just kept showing me 3 different ways and things on YouTube. Do a fast, do it, the Daniel fast, do a fast. So I did a 21-day fast, and no meat, no beef, no chicken, no nothing, and my hands cleared up and everything. They healed. So I was like, well, it kept coming back up again to me. So I was like, okay, so let me do this again and see what happens. I started it the second week of October. Actually, no, I started after the 15th because on the 15th, another YouTuber, a couple YouTubers and me, Misha Lee and the Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla and Ohio Travels with Chris. We all met up on the 15th and went to Schmidt's restaurant here in Columbus, Ohio. It's a German restaurant. And so I was like, okay. So I was still doing my low carb and everything. And then we went out for dinner. So I'll start the Daniel fast afterwards and everything. So I was like, and I did. I went out. I'll post those pictures on this channel also, but I posted it on my regular channel, my other channel, the first channel, on Our Treasure Home, and I had a blast. It was so much fun, and yes, I ate stuff. I was like, okay, I hadn't had any beef or pork or anything for a while. I wanted to see if I would have a reaction. And I was telling everybody the next day, so I had some brats and I had one sausage, but I think the salad had bacon or something in it. But a lot of stuff that was on the bar menu, you could order, but you could order one plate. It's $19, and the little buffet bar was $25. So we all got that because we could go back for more. And yes, I had potatoes and everything. You can't put the weather on this one, I don't think, Rebecca. And so I wasn't that sore the next day like potatoes usually do or anything. So but I didn't really have a reaction as far as breaking out. I had some itching, but nothing like I thought I would have. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe once a week I have something like that. I don't know. So I was like, that was good. So I started the Daniel fast the next day. And then that was a Thursday. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I did well. And then we had what's inspection, but they come and just change the filter and everything. But that's a long story. That's on the other channel. So for 2 days, we kind of just like ate like sandwiches and stuff so we didn't have to do a lot of cleaning in the kitchen, and things were put away like they're supposed to be, and it's dot the I's and cross the T's and all that stuff. So I didn't. So that was Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I picked it back Thursday. And so from last Thursday, so the 16th until the 22nd, the 23rd, all that week, and then that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I was like, with the things going on with, groceries and everything, it was like, okay. I was like, I've got to, I prayed about it, and I was like, so what I decided to do, I'm still doing the low carbs in the morning and low carbs for lunch, and then having my dinner. And I decided the one thing I could do that would be, as far as a fast, that would be social media, my TV. I always like watching my Murder, She Wrote series. I have the whole series too. So I've decided I'm not going to watch that for that 21 days. 3 days I did no coffee. And by the third day, I was so ready to have coffee. I was like, I like coffee. I just don't think I'll ever get rid of having coffee. I do have the mud water, and I'll do a video with the mud water and everything on this channel also. And it's nice. 1 cup is good, and that's all I can do. I mean, it's nice. I like it. I like the mushroom coffee, but 1 cup is all right. I still like my regular coffee. Yeah, that's the other channel. So, I decided, it's like, no, I think I'll be all right. Doing coffee not for 3 days, and it's like, yeah, by the third day, it was like, I don't mind drinking my tea at nighttime and everything. I drink my water during all day long. But I was like, no, I got to have the coffee. So mostly of the Daniel plan is having no sugar, stuff like that. Whoop. Trying to get to my description here. All right. All right. So when you start the Daniel fast, you want to really kind of do like a detoxing also at the same time, because that's what you're trying to do, is cleanse your body and all. So you want your fruits, your vegetables, your legumes, your different grains, because you're going to cut out the breads unless you make your own bread. And then now I cut out the meat because I wanted to see, was it the beef doing it? Was it the pork? It could have been the chicken. Was it the turkey or something? And you can do that also. You can cut out the different meat products. Protein, just make sure you get protein a different way. That'd be from your beans and legumes. I don't want to say soy. I don't know. Other ways. If you cut out like the chicken if you cut all that out, you could add fish. So there's different ways of doing it. Now And I did put in here some examples. So, like I said, lentils, rice, roasted vegetables, your herbs, and your seasonings. And then, like I said, if you're allergic to nuts, use sunflower butter, which I have some in the closet, and it's like by itself. I don't like it. But sunflower butter, if it's like on bread or if I use it with celery, no, it's okay. But just the sunflower butter by itself, it's like that's a hard one. I am thinking about taking that sunflower butter and making some cookies with it or something other. That way to see how well it bakes. Um, you just never know. It could bake really well. Um, So, like your produce, your apples, your bananas, berries, strawberries, lemons, avocados, sweet potatoes, your potatoes, your zucchini, peppers, onions, garlic, tomatoes, your leafy green vegetables, your carrots, celery, cucumbers, mixed veggies, frozen mixed veggies or legumes, black beans, your lentils, your chickpeas, your pinto, your kidney beans. Now, all your beans are protein. Um, Now, I do know people have used tofu also as a way to get protein or something to make those tofu patties, hamburgers, or something or other. So, people have done that also. Now, as far as like the whole grains, your rolled oats, brown rice, quinoa, wheat flour, and barley or farro. Now, I did do it on Our Treasure Home. I'll do it on this channel. I took rice and I showed you how to make rice flour. It's real simple. The same way with lentils or oats. If you just have oats and you need flour, or you just want to try something different, those are 3 ways you can make a flour and have that for your bread instead. I was using Ezekiel bread when I was doing the fast. What was this? 4 years ago. I just, sometimes it's like, has it really been that long? But yeah, 4 years ago, and because I did not have all the different grains like that to make bread, so we would get the Ezekiel bread, but that was starting to be expensive even back then, before anything else. And then, of course, you have your nuts and seeds, your almonds, walnuts, pecans, chia seeds, flax seeds, your natural butter or almond butter, and unsweetened coconut flakes. Um, Now, I use flax seeds a lot in my bread because flax seeds are a good source of fiber and nutrients. It's also helpful with your joints and everything. It's kind of like a lubrication for your joints. So I like to say, because it helps. Now it helps me with my arthritis, and it's like a good source of fiber. So if you add it like to your cereal or to your breads, or you know, if you make like a oat and dried berries like cranberries and all, and make them to like an oat bar or something, add flax seeds, that also will help with adding more fiber to it. And then it says pantry flavor, olive oil, coconut, apple cider vinegar, balsamic or red wine vinegar, and spices, sea salt, pink salt, black pepper, cinnamon, cumin, chili powder, smoked paprika, garlic, onion powder, oregano, basil, thyme, curry. You can use unsweetened cocoa powder, which is like the Hershey's unsweetened cocoa powder. Um, your herbal teas. Now, this has said 100% fruit juice, and some people leave that out. You can also make your own fruit juice. And you drink a lot of water because it's going to start flushing things out. And it says, was no reminder, is you trying to get off not really get off the sugar, but you're just trying to flush your system out from the sugar. So no sugar. I still use stevia. But it says no sugar, honey, agave, maple, white flour, yeast, baking powder, dairy, meat, eggs, fish, coffee, soda, alcohol, processed snacks, chips, candy, fried anything. So, kind of, in a way, that's kind of like a no-brainer. When you're trying to sit there and you want to see what's going on with your body, see what is going on, why you keep having flares. Are you allergic to certain fruits? Are you allergic to certain meats or vegetables? Is it the vegetables? Could it be potatoes that's, make you ache and flare because that's a nightshade? Tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants, and peppers, all nightshades. So, maybe start growing your own, have a little plant out there, grow your own and see how that works. That's what I did. I loved growing my own. We had the little yellow pear tomatoes. It didn't have anything. It didn't flare up the inflammation or anything. And I did the banana peppers and the same thing with that. So I really enjoyed growing those, which I'll grow them again next year. I just gotta get a different planter for them because they grow really tall. I was like, that was fun. And so I've got plans to make, like growing other things next year just to see, because you have the red tomatoes, you think of the red beefsteak, the big ones and everything, when there's orange and yellow, which have less acid in it. So those are the ones I want to start growing next year so that I can maybe see if if it doesn't make me ache afterwards, and if I don't have heartburn, anything after I eat them, then if I have a really good harvest, I can make my own tomato sauce, my own tomato paste and everything, because even they have spaghetti, so they've been using ragu, now they got Prego, but I've tried it and I was like, it's not that I don't want the spaghetti, and I've even tried the hamburger just to see, and one week I won't have a reaction, or the next week I will, and I'm just like, just stop it now. But that spaghetti sauce, I just have terrible heartburn with it, and I'm just like, no, I'm good. I can make me something else, which I have plenty. As far as like ideas to make something with the ground turkey, because I still have a whole package of ground turkey left. And I can make that, bake some rice, and have my dinner. Now we have some eggs, so I kind of like, by the time I get up and I sit here and I do things, everything, I have my coffee and then I get busy and I forget. It's 11 o'clock or so before I eat. So kind of like a intermittent fasting, and sometimes it's not. Technically it is, because if I eat lunch between 12 and 1, well, that's breakfast. Between 11 and noon is breakfast. Lunch is like 2 o'clock or so in the afternoon, and then dinner is like 6 o'clock. But that also depends on what I eat. If I have 2 eggs with some cheese and everything, I'm good till dinner time. 4:30, 5 o'clock, it's like, okay, I'm getting hungry. It's time to fix something for dinner. Now, if I have a big salad, like a chicken salad, and use the lettuce for the wrap instead of a tortilla wrap, then that will fill me up also, and then I'm good till dinner. And it just depends. Each day is different. Some days I might have oatmeal. After a while, you get tired of eggs, even though, you can make them so many different ways. So about 4 days a week, I'll have eggs. And then like 3 days, I'll change it up. I'll have oatmeal with blueberries, or, something else, as far as like towards oatmeal type way. Definitely with having some fruit. Blueberries I love, and blueberries is good, another good fiber source, and so many things that it can have. All right, so let's see here. And then you don't forget your spices. You don't have to have bland food. Um, I know back in the 70s when um, different weight loss plans came out, they were like, the food was just no flavor, no salt, no. And it was just like, oh, y'all really eat this stuff? So, but now, it's so many different ways. You can do so many different things. Almost like we have avocados. Well, I could take the avocado and have, like today, I had avocado and I boiled some eggs and I made a salad with that. I had lettuce and I cut up a little bit of onion and everything and had a salad. Now that filled me up for a while. Then you can make guacamole, and instead of using chips, use carrot sticks and celery sticks and everything to have it. Um, One thing that I do have is corn chips. It's like the video I made that'll drop tonight. The corn chip salad, the Frito salad. Now, I made quite differently than what my mom made when we were growing up. But the idea is you can take different things that you have and make something with it. And since I didn't have red diced tomatoes or the cucumber or I had onions, but the other things that she would put in there, the bell peppers and everything, because back then I still couldn't figure out when it's so good and why in the world afterwards I had such bad heartburn, even back then, after 50 years, well, 40 some years. Now I know why, because those foods don't agree with me. So I'm just like, I'll leave them alone. Um, but it was good, I got that Catalina dressing and it would be a whole bottle of that in there. Then you mix it all up, you put that in the fridge, and then when you go to serve it, you put the Fritos in there so the Fritos will stay crunchy. I put the Fritos in there and stuck the whole thing in the fridge. Then forgot. So I pulled it out. The Fritos were kind of mushy. We weren't too bad. They still had a little bit of crunch, but I still had some left, so I can put some more into the dish and everything. But that's another idea. Look at what you have around and try to mix things up. Um, Now with on the Daniel fast, we have all those chickpeas. I still have chickpeas, so you can make your own hummus and you can season it the way you want to, and then that way you can have, if you use, um, like celery, cucumbers, or something like that, you can scoop it up. Now this, I don't think I kept it in here. Oh, it does. It has the bonus was a flatbread. There's one cup of wheat flour, a third cup of water, and a tablespoon of salt. And then it's just, I know it's kind of funny. It says that, then it says to lay off wheat. But, just kind of like if you want the wheat, then leave the white flour alone, So, but that's really simple. I've done that before to make my own flatbread, and it doesn't take long to do. When you mix all that out and you roll it thin, you just put it in the frying pan and then just fry it till it's done and flip it and everything, and then you got your flatbread, and you can use that to eat your hummus. My back is itching. So, to me, I like doing that. And because I've had to start and stop because of different things happening and everything throughout the last few weeks. And then next week is my granddaughter Anastasia's birthday. So it's like, I did not pick a right time to start this. So that's why I decided, okay. So I sat and prayed. I was like, okay, Lord, things are happening. This happened this week. Okay, I'm not going to be, what could I do instead of, um, and I still eat differently than my family, mainly during the day. I was like, and it's just like the show, just stop watching the show and everything. So on the TV, what I have is um, artist storyteller Donnie's channel up and running until I go to bed. And so I was like, and it was hard a few days because I would sit there, turn the TV on, have a dinner and a show. And that's what my show was, watching my DVDs and everything. So the first few days, that was hard because you're used to sitting there doing something. And it's like, that's right, I'm not going to do that today. So it's also a good discipline way to sit there and see what would you like to have yourself change. Is it a TV show you're used to, or is it something you just want to do to, all right, I need to spend more time reading my Bible, or if I need to spend more time studying something else you want to learn. Um, I still have things I want to learn. I'm still studying about herbs, and Hillsdale College has free courses. So I'm still trying to, do that. I'm working on my cookbook and everything. And it's a good way to sit there and say, okay, today, what am I work on? But what's taking my time up for me to keep working on that? So, and then if it's something that, takes a lot of attention and everything that's maybe doesn't need to, try leaving that alone for 21 days to put your intention on something that your goal is. So, as like I said, I chose the show because at nighttime I sit here, I could watch it and do other things, but then if I'm talking to somebody and they say something on the show and I'm just like, wait a minute, what did everybody say? And everybody goes, you're not paying attention to me. Really? I'm like, okay. So now I'm doing that downstairs. I'm talking, the TV gets muted or paused. Whatever's on the computer gets paused and everything. And my focus is a different way. So that's something I learned by doing the Daniel fast also. That sometimes some things need to pause and you put the focus on who you're talking to or what you're doing. And it's like working on both channels and everything. That's why it's like Monday through Friday, it is the channels. It's this channel, it's my other channel. And then on the weekends is my time to make videos. I make videos for both channels and everything. And then Monday is my days to edit. So, and then if I'm like, because if I'm not talking to anybody on the phone, I'm sitting here watching TV and I'm typing. Next thing I know, I'm typing in there. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's not even what I'm saying. I'm like, I got to pause what I'm watching on the TV or turn it off so I can focus. So I was like, okay, I know thank you, Lord. I know I need to stop watching that show for right now. I'll pick it back up when it's time to pick it back up. And who knows, I might get used to not watching that to where I have time to sit and focus on other things instead of my attention being on the TV. So some things as far as like with doing a Daniel fast, you can definitely do different things. You can eat different foods. One thing I have is the eat right for your blood type. So you can take, so like this has breakfast eggnog, a breakfast smoothie, easy pancakes, or wheat pancake. Um, Let's see here. I don't know if it's got. Put those over there. So it talks about the anti-inflammatory inflammation diet. Try to eat. Of course, they say try to eat organic food and locally grown. Sometimes we just cannot. But they talk about the different food categories, like vegetables are classified as progressively according to the carbohydrate content. Those in group 1 have least amount of carbohydrates. Those in group 4 have the most. Eat most lower carbohydrate vegetables in those 1 to 2 groups. All right, so we're going to look for this. So foods to eat: asparagus, bean sprouts, beet greens, broccoli, red and green cabbage, cauliflower, celery, Swiss chard, cucumber, endive lettuce, green, red, and romaine mixed greens, mustard and dandelion greens, radishes, spinach, and watercress. In group 2 is string beans, beets, bok choy, Brussels sprouts, chives, collards, eggplant, kale, kohlrabi leeks, onion, parsley, red pepper, pumpkin, rutabagas, turnips, and zucchini. So group 3, which has 3 and 4 kind of like have the more carbohydrates. 3 is artichokes, parsnips, green peas, winter squash, and carrots. And group 4 is yams and sweet potatoes. Well, we know yams and sweet potatoes are carbs, a lot of carbs. And then, hold on for a second. I need something. All right. I had something down through here I need to, I was trying to get. And there goes the sirens again. Yep. It's that time of night for them to be out and about. I'll plug up my computer. So then it says grains. Include 1 to 2 cups of cooked grains per day unless you desire to lose weight. So foods to eat was arameth, spelt, barley, buckwheat, millet, oatmeal, quinoa, basmati, or brown rice, rye, and tough. Rice crackers and Wassa brand rye crackers are also okay. Now, I remember, I don't know if y'all remember, when those Wassa crackers came out, they may have been out for a while, but I remember when they came out, those rye crackers, oh my goodness. My mom did Weight Watchers, and that's the date, I was on the list for her to, to buy and eat and everything. It was funny because everybody else in the family didn't like them, but I did. I thought they were good. I was like, well, that was more for me to eat. But I would put peanut butter on them or anything, or for cream cheese, and that was good for me. And it says the foods to avoid was all wheat products, including bread, cereal, whole wheat flour, white flour, pasta that's made from wheat. Now, this is talking about anti-inflammatory. So some of those things does, it bothers people to eat. And sometimes some people it doesn't. But it's a good way to find out and just to test and see for yourself. Do you start to feel better, and then not have it for maybe 20 days, 21 days, maybe 30 days. And then, just add some back in just a little bit. And then take notes. I'm still writing down everything I eat because I was like, something that's going to click one way or the other. So then the legumes, it says split peas, lentils, kidney beans, pinto beans, black beans, garbanzo beans, fermented soybeans, tempeh or miso, mung beans, and azuka beans. Now, I love mung beans, and they're really easy. When you get the mung beans, you can sprout them yourselves and everything, and they're good in salads. So those are really cool to sit there and do. And I'll do that too. When it says foods to avoid, tofu can cause reactions in some people. Experiment with both including it and eliminating it from the diet. So diet is just all how you eat. That's all it is. So you sit there and, does it bother you? If it does, then leave it alone for a while and then see, then try it, after so many days. Try it again and see what it does. And then seafood, it says wild salmon, cod, haddock, mallet, mackerel, sardines, tuna, trout, and summer flounder. And it said it avoids shellfish, including shrimp, crab, lobster, clams, and mussels. Well, I don't like fish, and I don't, but I have canned tuna fish in there because I was just like, I always did. I did like. I have ate tuna fish, forever. And when I got the pacemaker put in, I couldn't have it. I couldn't eat it. I couldn't smell it. My son made shrimp, and it took everything I had just to eat half of the bowl that he gave me. And I'm just like, I just can't. It was like, oh my goodness. That was like a couple weeks after that. So that was last year. And then maybe 6 months, 3 or 4 months after the pacemaker, we had shrimp again, and it was tolerable. So, it was probably because of being under in anesthesia, and everything. It changes your taste buds. So, just kind of, I don't know, it was just really weird. He told me it was all in my head, it was the taste bud stuff. I was like, no, I can taste. It's just, it tastes funny. Then he realized, oh yeah, you had to go under for the pacemaker. That could have done it too. I'm like, yeah, I'm quite sure it did. Then meat, that says meat only, not the skin. Organic free-range chicken, turkey, wild game, venison, elk, organic free-range lamb, and buffalo. So, and I know the grass-fed stuff but expensive. But the way it's going, the grass-fed and the regular is around the same price. So, but just depends on how your budget is. But if not, just leave it out. And it says foods to avoid is pork, conventionally raised beef, and small amounts of organic grass-fed beef are okay. There they go more. So, when you're trying to see, and this is what I did because I was trying to see what's causing my reaction, what's causing the flare-ups. Is it, could it be the beef? Was it the pork? I was able now to go get tested. All those tests came out negative, and I purposely ate what I thought was actually causing it, and it still came out negative. So, but I was showing my allergist, when I eat, showing them my hands, this is what happens. It was my eyes. They said, well, you could have an intolerance to it that just doesn't show up on the blood work. I'm like, that's not an answer. That's really not an answer. Because even with a dairy allergy, if you have an intolerance to it, it shows up on the blood work. And I'm like, No, that's not an answer. We've got to figure out what's going on. So I'm still doing the immunology shots for the molds and the grasses and the trees and everything. So, and I don't believe that's causing my arm right there. Though this is better than it has been, and it's going down a lot. I know it doesn't look like it, but it is. Spices and herbs, it says use any favorite herbs and spices to enhance the flavor of your food. And fruits and vegetables, eat 1 to 2 servings of any fruit per day. Try to eat mostly fruits of the lower carbohydrate categories in groups 1 and 2. Oh, that's on vegetables. So we'll get to there. But group 1 is cantaloupe. Oh, here it is. Group 1, cantaloupe, rhubarb, melons, and strawberries. I love strawberries. Group 2, apricots, blackberries, cranberries, papayas, peaches, plums, raspberries, and kiwis. And group 3 is apples, blueberries, cherries, grapes, pears, pineapples, and pomegranates. And group 4 is banana, figs, and prunes. Now, I know the figs and prunes have a lot of sugar, so that means they have, more carbs. But I didn't think blueberries had that many carbs in it. But, when you get back to it, cranberries, your raspberries, papayas are all good for another good source of fiber and help make your body go to the bathroom. I have no idea what's going on out there. I am not going to go look. And it says avoid citrus fruits. Lemons is okay. Limit your intake of dried fruits and eliminate them if you're diabetic. So that's all from this book right here. And then use unsweeteners only occasionally. But it says foods to eat with pure maple syrup, brown rice syrup, raw honey, agave syrup, and stevia. And absolutely no sugar, NutraSweet, or any other sweetener is allowed. So when you're doing the Daniel fast, they say to avoid the sugars and everything else. But to me, I still think like having honey is good because honey is a good source of nutrients and vitamins, and it sweetens things. Now, I know people who put honey in their coffee, and I tried that, and I was like, I don't think so. I don't think so. The honey in your tea, I know a lot of people who do that. So there's, just sit down with a list, write down what are you eating. Start off with a week of what do you eat every single day, the snacks, what do you drink and everything, and then go by that. And then when you go next time you go to the grocery store, start little by little with changing things out, and then seeing like, okay, well, let's try this for a week. Try something else for a week. All right, so if you're used to having tomatoes, like spaghetti sauce and stuff like that, maybe learn to make your own white sauce, or find a farmer's market and get your tomatoes from there, and just get some tomatoes. They'll help you. Ask how many tomatoes will make a quart jar of sauce, and make your own sauce. And after you make it, let it cool and everything, and then you put it in the fridge. They'll help you know it'll probably last a week in the fridge, or until you use it, and see if that's something else that's totally different. If you don't have heartburn from it or whatever, then you know that maybe it's something that they put as a preservative in the sauce. Because that's what I'm thinking that this is something that is a preservative that I'm having a reaction to. So I'm going to ask my allergist the next time when I go see her, is there a way to test for all that stuff. Because I want to know. Butters and oils. A small amount of organic butter is okay. Olive oil for cooking, coconut for baking, and nut or seed oils for salads. Um, we put butter in everything. We did growing up. My aunts, we put butter in everything, and until and that was regular butter, all natural butter, not the margarine. And they lived a long time. That's all I can say. Foods to avoid: hydrogenated oils, partially hydrogenated oils, trans fats. Avoid overheating, which in the process can convert into trans fats. Sometimes they like, well, what's hydrogenated oils? And then they won't give you an answer. And it's like, why you tell us not to eat something? You can't give us an answer what it is, you know? So we're going to have to do research ourselves. So eggs, is that organic eggs? We can't afford organic eggs, so regular eggs is fine. Dairy products including yogurt, cheese, and animal milk, and commercial eggs. So anybody that has a dairy allergy, we're not going to eat that stuff anyway. You're going to eat like the vegan cheese, the Via Life, the Miyoko's brand, Follow Your Heart Diet still has their brand, and then a lot of the store brands have come out with their own dairy-free cheeses. So no, we're going to be eating those anyway. Just like with the yogurts, they've come out with dairy-free yogurt, which is okay. It still doesn't taste the same, but it's okay. So, there's different ways that you can, add things, take things out. So we buy yogurt once in a while because Anastasia likes the dairy-free yogurt, and they'll buy like 3 or 4 for like a nighttime snack, and then she'll have one and then we'll forget about the rest of them. It's not a favorite thing. So if it's not something, a favorite thing you like to eat, don't buy it as much. Because then that's kind of like just wasting money. Well, actually, it is wasting money if nobody eats it. Nuts and seeds: flax, pumpkin, sesame, sunflower seeds, most nuts and nut butters. So pumpkin seeds are really, really beneficial for us. So many things for us and everything. And also, it helps with your skin. So I'm thinking about, getting some pumpkin seeds and starting to eat. There's another good source of fiber. I have a little pumpkin in the kitchen. It's a sugar pie pumpkin that I got from Tammy and Jeff. So I will be washing that and everything and cutting it up and using it in a video and show y'all, what I'm going to do if I'm just going to bake it or cut it up and make something else with it. They said foods to avoid was peanuts and peanut butter. I can't avoid peanut butter. I love peanut butter, especially the chunky peanut butter. It's so good. And it's not something I eat every single day, but we do have it, because we like peanut butter. I put it on celery. We'll make a peanut butter sandwich. You can make a peanut butter wrap with it. Instead, if you don't have no bread, but you still got those tortilla wraps, put it on that and put some jelly on there and make a wrap. And that's wrap. And then beverages, it says minimum of half your weight in fluid ounces per day of filtered water. Small amount of rice or oat, almond, or soy milk, herbal teas, substitute for coffee and juice. And then foods to avoid, So coffee, soda, juice, caffeine, teas, and alcohol. Like I said, I like my coffee. I love my coffee. Um, Now, I don't drink a pot of coffee a day like I used to a long time ago, but I'll have 2 cups. I'll make me 2 cups. I don't drink all those 2 cups. So this is the size cup I'm talking about. When my coffee gets cold, I'll go heat it up. I'll let it cool. I'll take 2 or 3 sips of it. Then I'm busy doing things, working on projects, typing and everything, and then it gets cold again. Well, then by that time I don't want it. So I'll have another, I'll make me a fresh cup of coffee. And it's the same way with that. So overall, I'll probably maybe drink a cup and a half of coffee a day. So, because I just don't sit here and I guess, cooled off enough to guzzle it down because I don't like doing that. I like sipping my coffee. I like the flavor. But overall, I'll probably drink only a cup and a half and not that much. So that was something that I did for 3 days. I had no coffee. That was a Saturday, Sunday, and Monday last weekend. And I was like, by Monday, I was like, I really missed that 1 cup of coffee, at least one. But I had the mud water um, mushroom coffee, so I drank that instead. And I had actually 2 cups, but by the second cup, half of that, I was just like, yeah, the first one is good, and one's just enough. So, but I also have the tea, the green tea. So I'll do a video taste testing both of them for you. Okay, the green tea's okay. I just like the coffee better. And then miscellaneous said foods to avoid was corn products, processed food, and fried foods. And I kind of like sometimes that's a no-brainer. Like the fried foods and the processed foods. Um, that's why I did a video of making your own chips. Um, so I'll have to get the egg roll wraps again and test it out again. They were good. It was just like they said 6 minutes in the oven, and it wasn't 6 minutes. It didn't take 6 minutes to sit there and cook those or anything. So, but yeah, this book I have, Anti-Inflammatory Diet and Recipe Book, the Eat Right for Your, or Cook Right for Your Blood Type, and then the 500 Low Carbs Meals Recipes. So I want to start digging into these and, all right, sunflower sesame crackers. 1 cup of shelled sunflower seeds. A half a cup of sesame seeds, a half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 cup of water. So that's just mixing it all together in a blender. You preheat oven at 325. Grind the sunflower seeds to a powder, and then you add the sesame seeds and the salt and pulse the food processor just long enough to combine. You want the sesame seeds to stay whole. Then add the water and pulse enough to make a dough. And then you roll it out. And then you cut it the way you want to cut everything. Of course, they're talking about cover your cookie sheet with a parchment paper. Turn the dough onto the parchment paper. Tear off another sheet of parchment paper and put it on the top of the dough. That way it doesn't stick to your rolling pin. So, and they took a piece of cutter and score it and everything and cut it the way you want to cut it. And you bake about 30 minutes or until they are light golden color. Peel off the parchment, break along the score lines, and let the crackers cool. Store them in a container with a tight lid. Now that's supposed to make 6 dozen crackers. It has 1 gram of carbohydrates and about 0.5 grams of fiber, so a total of 0.5 gram of unusable carbs and 1 gram of protein. But then you got your own crackers, and you can use them for dips and everything. So that's, one of the things in here. Let's see here. There's a sausage, egg, and cheese bake. Now I do have turkey sausage that I can use that for. Um, Fried cheese. And I haven't done fried. Oh, I have in a way. Now I know people. They take the shredded cheese and put it in like a little pile on a piece of parchment paper on your sheet pan, and you bake it for a couple minutes till it just melts and everything. You have a cheese crisp. So that's something else that's pretty cool to do. So I've got to go through here and look at the different things because there are some things on here that looks really good, like the cheesecake. Oh, so but those were some of the cookbooks and some of the books that I have that plus the other cookbooks that I want to start going through and everything, and just using stuff up that you have already at home to put some things together and just have fun with the food to see what works, what doesn't work. You know, maybe having those different beans. You have, you can pulse them up, or, you know, like I said, chickpeas makes hummus. Um, Maybe black beans can do something else. I am going to do the bean burger over again and everything. I just got to do some research on that just to see what I missed out. That was just, as a trial and error thing, just having fun to see what works, what didn't work, and everything. So next week, I'll be cooking in the kitchen on Friday night. Maybe try one of those recipes over there. I got some. I don't have the sunflower seeds, but I do have the sesame. So maybe I can put that on the grocery list and see what we can come up with and everything. So thank you so much, all, for being here tonight. I've really enjoyed it. I hope, um, give y'all some ideas of doing things. As far as this goes, we still don't know what's causing this. Um, it could be the shots. I don't think it is. I still think it's something I'm eating. But I've been putting, this is called jewelweed. I got from a friend, Teresa at Stringfield Ridge Farm. And it says for the itchies. Uh, and it's all natural. It's jewelweed, olive oil, and beeswax, and vitamin E. Because when I put the lotion on, the redness goes down. So, the redness, when it goes down. So I put my sleeve up because I didn't, to make sure that the air is still getting to it. And I'm left-handed. That's what I'm giggling at. Because when I'm crocheting or whatever, I'm left-handed also. So when I'm writing, my arm is bent. And even if you're right-handed, when you're writing, your arm is bent. With just puzzled that my right arm cleared up and this arm didn't. So, we're still guessing. I don't know. So that's where I'm at with that. And that's why I started the Daniel fast with the food and everything, and things this month was just here and there and everything else. After Anastasia's birthday next week, I probably will go back to doing it a little more stricter or different foods. As far as like not, I didn't have spaghetti last week, but it looked so good. It was really tempting. I was like, it looks so good. I'm like, no, not to have it. So I didn't have any of it. Now they had chili last night and tonight. But I also been outside. I've been out front. I've been out back. We've been messing with the sunflower out there. He's so top heavy, he just fell over. So I was trying to fix him and then messing with my flag. So all this all stirred up outside and everything. And this could be outside allergies. I don't know. But I don't think it is. I still think it's something at 8. And one more thing, with the mullein, I've been taking the mullein, and then I have the black walnut, wormwood, and clove mix that I got from Horback. Now I did that for 2 weeks, and then it's time for me to stop for 2 weeks, and then I'll do it for 2 weeks again. I do think I've noticed that it could be a gut issue, that because you're supposed to go to the bathroom and have a bowel movement 2 to 3 times, at least twice a day, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So I'm really thinking, wondering if it is a gut issue more so than, well, whatever you eat. But trying to sit there and do different things, get a idea of what's going on, and that mix I got, it will make you go to the bathroom, which I was like, yay! I like that idea. So, but yeah, I'll keep y'all up to date. What's going on with this? Why this, and this popped up? I have no idea. I just don't like it. So, but thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you for listening and everything. I hope I've covered some stuff that helps people out and all. And like I said, I'll be cooking next week. I haven't decided what I'm cooking yet, but I'll let y'all know. It's going to be something good. So y'all have a wonderful evening. God bless. Stay safe. We love y'all. And we'll see you next time on Cooking Dairy Free and Alpha Golf Nancy. Have a wonderful evening.